Welcome everyone. Today we're here to talk about errors. Know of anyone who's made an error? I know I have. I've made lots of errors. Lots of errors. And is it normal to make errors? Of course it is. It's more normal than you think, than lots of people think. Now, about errors. Errors are both good and bad. Now, why are they good? Because if you don't make an error, how else do you think you're going to learn? You know, there are many types of errors out there that are good. But there are also many types of errors that are really, really bad. And I'd like to talk to you about some of these today. One of those errors that is good and is bad is lying. I know I've lied a lot when I was a kid and as I got older. But then I learned how bad it was. Why? Because you can't possibly grow to whatever level you want to grow to if you keep lying. Because especially you're lying to yourself other than those people you're telling these lies to. Doesn't matter what type of lie. But I've learned from young how to lie, how to make these white lies, like what did I do with my homework? Why didn't I do it? Oh, because the dog ate it, because I didn't, it got messed up, it was thrown out in the trash. What about these lies? Why do you need to lie like that? You're lying to yourself. So come on, let's get rid of these small lies. Instead, let's start to make something bigger and better about ourselves. Let's start to create a better person. Because from errors, we're supposed to learn. And lying is one of those errors that we need to overcome if we want to be better in life. How about stealing? Geez, I didn't steal a lot. But those few times that I took something that was not mine, I tried to pay it all back. Why? Because it's painful living with that in your head. Because the things that you take with you in your life when you die from this earth are not the valuable things that you possess in your hands or money, but it's those spiritual things that you can think of that you did in your past. And stealing is one of them. If you take what's not yours, I suggest you give it back just like I have. I gave it directly back to the people, or I gave it to charity because I couldn't communicate myself with those who I had taken from. And I feel so much better, so much more powerful now that I've been able to overcome that. How about faith? A lot of people have forgotten to believe in God. Whatever or whomever your God may be, you should have him present. Because if you don't have him present, then guess what you're going to receive? Nothing. And if you're not asking for nothing from your God, he's going to give you nothing. Think about that. If you start asking, if you start praying, if you start taking time, then you're going to get something back. It might be what you're asking for, or it might be something better. Because sometimes when we ask, we don't necessarily get what we ask for, but we get some of those things that are supposed to be better for us and better for our families. How about selfishness? A lot of us are so selfish that when things do not go our way, we tend to take our lives. Isn't there a much more difficult way than to take your life? That is so selfish. Getting out of this life. You know, there are so many opportunities to fall in love with a person, and if that person dumps you, instead of crying, instead of being so selfish that you want to commit suicide, why don't you be grateful? Because that is an error that you should be grateful for. Because if you're not meant to be with that person, then you should look and see that there are better things out there that you're capable of. Yes, I know some celebrities have committed suicide. Yes, I know some of your friends probably have mentioned it. But there are better things to be learned. That shouldn't be your focus. Because if you are focusing on that, then that means you're focusing on the brown stuff of life. The number 2 of your life. Errors. Jealousy. Have you been jealous of your partner? Have you been jealous of them talking to friends? Friends of the same sex? Friends of the opposite sex? Well, come to think of it, I used to be there as well. And then I found out that's really bad. It's really bad. It's so bad that if you think you're going to be able to control your partner from leaving you, you're giving him access to leaving you much quicker by controlling them, by not letting them be free. Jealousy is one of those stupid errors that people commit daily, that people tend to adhere to, thinking that they're going to be able to control somebody else's life. Yes, that other person is not talking to their friends because of you. Yes, they feel so filled with a boundary that they're unable to communicate to the outer world what their feelings are. So stop being jealous, stop being foolish, stop being stupid, if you understand what I mean, because these are errors that we don't need you to continue to commit. How about fear? Do you fear anything? We all fear something. But the fear of making an advancement in life, taking chances, doing things that would lead you to have some fun, whether it's riding a bike, doing a marathon, helping out somebody. Let go of these fears and start to see a difference in your life, because these are errors we need in our life. These are good errors. How about love? People tend to think that love is found within an hour or two of meeting a person, a day or two of meeting them. You know what? Love takes time. There is no perfect time, but it does not take a day or two to find true love. It can take a year or two or more. There is no definite time, but I suggest that if you are interested in finding true love, dedicate more time. Do not make love be an instance of a day or two. Like some people tend to go into a relationship, get their girlfriends pregnant, and then find out, oh, they don't want to be together anymore. Now that is an error I don't want to have to live for. But unfortunate for me, I've had to live with it as well. And I am grateful that I have kids that I have been able to keep up with and show them love day to day, because of errors that I've committed and I've regretted, but I've learned how to live with it, and I've learned how to make the best out of that situation. How about procrastination? A lot of us tend to put off things that we should be doing today for tomorrow, for next week, for next year. Well, guess what? We only have each other here for so long on this planet. We only have each other for so long that if you're not telling them that you love them, that if you're not telling them how much they mean to you, tomorrow might be too late. You know, I have family members who've told me, God, I wish I would have told X so-and-so how much I love them, and I never had the chance. Isn't that sad? That's a terrible error. So correct your error today. And make sure you tell your loved ones today how much do you love them, because tomorrow might be too late. And I know you know people in that situation. How about service? Serving others. Providing stuff for others. If you do it today, if you help someone in need with $1, with some clothing, with some paint, helping them out by communicating with them, talking to them. Serving others is magical. It's how we grow. Those are errors that we tend to neglect, not take time to help others. Start serving others, because your growth, your spiritual growth, depends on it. I know mine does, and I love helping people, just like I am trying to help you out here. How about trying? Most of us are afraid of trying new things until we get older, into our 60s, 70s, and we regret not trying, because that is the number one error that anyone in their 60s, 70s, and 80s says, is I regret not trying things more, not taking chances in life. Try something today. Try something different, because tomorrow might be too late. These are great errors that we tend to neglect. So take a chance. Come on, what are you waiting for? Life can't be too serious. And if you think it's that serious, then call me so that I can make some fun of you. And I can laugh at you. That way you'll see that it's not that serious. You know, some of the best things in life are the craziest thing. Why? Because they're some of the craziest errors. What are some of these best things that are errors? Becoming fat, overweight, obese. How about drunk? How about getting pregnant? Yes, in the short term, they're great. But in the long term, you will regret these errors for life. But you can find ways to turn that around. What are you waiting for? Contact me. How about finances? A lot of us tend to owe so much money, more than we tend to build wealth for ourselves. And I tend to take a pause because it's very important. Many of us are not saving money for tomorrow. Many of us think that today is sufficient. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know if we're going to be able to work the next 6 months. So start to save. Save for emergency purposes. Save for future purposes. Save for a big item that you might want to acquire someday. Finances are so important. These are errors that we need to correct today. How about balance? Do you have balance in your life? Why? Because some of us are in such a hurry, that we get on our phones waiting for the next application to open up, and it takes so long and we become so anxious. Well, these are errors in our lives, because if we were to be patient and take things slow, things would turn out to be faster than you think. So think about the balance in your life. Finding balance and committing errors is very important, because if you know the difference between finding balance and doing something to the extreme, it makes a different you, a better you. What are signs of finding balance? Are you working too much? Do you work in excess of 60, 80 hours a week? And what are you getting out of it? Or is it just your boss that is benefiting? Because I know that you're getting a little bit more money in income, but your boss gains the most benefit, because he gains from you working and he gains from your production. But you don't gain from your production as much. Do you dedicate enough time to your family when you're working this many hours? Because if you're not, then you're not finding balance. How about to your friends? Are you able to dedicate time to them? And how about your associates? Don't forget about them as well. Finding balance is the difference between committing errors that are either for you or against you. And working too many hours is not finding a balance. If you work too much or too little, that's not a balanced life. If you do not dedicate enough time for your family, and you dedicate to them too little time, that's not good enough. Because soon enough, your family will know that your important number one situation in life is work. How can we go on in life committing this type of error? The error I want to know about is giving more time to my family than I do to my work. Because I know at least that I've given them more time of me than I do to my work. How about personal time? Building yourself. Building a business that will leave some sort of legacy for you and your family. That will lead you to have more wealth in your life. Wouldn't that balance sound better? Well, if you keep committing the errors of dedicating more time to your job, how do you plan to succeed in building yourself, in dedicating a balanced life for your family, friends, for your future clients? Think about it. Love your family first. Love your job second. Everything else will fall into place. You will make what you're supposed to make if you dedicate the amount of time needed for your family, and if you follow these simple steps that I'm outlining here and others in some of my other videos. This is David Diaz. If you need to reach me, send me an email at info@daviddiazlife.com. This is your life coach. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Blessings to you all.